Hey everyone, welcome back to Game Grid's FNM match review. I'm Dan,
This is Drew.
and tonight we're going to cover three different games for you from matches from FNM on May 25th. We're going to cover a red-green aggro list versus black-red zombies. We're going to cover Delver versus
Like a blue-white control deck.
blue-white control deck, and Delver versus a graveyard recursion deck. So what we're watching here in the first match is Aaron versus Patrick, and Aaron's playing a red-green aggro list, one that we've mentioned briefly in the past, and Patrick's playing black-red zombies.
Yep, the red-green list Aaron is playing is the same list that I played the week before at Friday Night Magic. This week I'm playing Delver. Julian came down and played with us as well on Friday along with Josh Snow. He got second at the PTQ with this list, so pretty strong list. This is kind of what this game showcases what the deck wants to do. You play an accelerator on turn one like he did. He played a birds here. Patrick doesn't have much going on.
He's going to try to incinerate this bird, and you're going to see the power of one of the uncommons from Avacyn Restored.
Yeah, so basically he gets to play an Avenger here, and
that's the 3/3 flash with regenerate in response to the bird getting incinerated.
Yep. So now he gets in there.
Gets a quick 3 damage on. He's already to 17, and he's off to the races with this aggro list of his.
Yep. So basically, he got to play a 3-mana guy on turn 2.
And right now, Patrick's kind of looking for what his play is. Incinerate is good against this guy because Incinerate says you can't regenerate. However, he burned 1 on the bird, and we see Drolf's Messenger come into play to try to see if he can race with Aaron as he drops the second flash.
And as you can see, since Aaron is on the play this game, Patrick is basically 2 turns behind because Aaron got to drop both of his 3 drops effectively a turn before Patrick, letting him get more attacks and more damage in. So Patrick's at 11 now, and Aaron's at a healthy 18.
So he drops a Llanowar just to guide out there, either help accelerate next turn or just to have another body on the board because any creature, throwing a sword on there is going to make them, a dangerous thing to deal with. Drolf's Messenger is a nice blocker in this case because it has Undying. It has that come into play trigger to try to hopefully stabilize those life totals, but Aaron is sitting on that 2 untapped mana to regenerate a burn target.
Yeah, unfortunately, he can't really block the Avengers very effectively because they just get to regenerate.
Sure, it's not an ideal situation regardless.
Yeah, but, I mean, he's at 11, so he probably needs to...
He's already on the defensive.
Things. Yeah. Aaron missed a land drop, so he might have, like, a Huntmaster in his hand.
Because he's kind of flicking around that birds there. And you see he's flipping his hand around. And
if he didn't play the birds, if he played the elf over the bird, my guess is he's got either a Huntmaster or he's just looking to play a guy and leave regeneration mana up, which...
And we see the elf got tragic, victim of a tragic slip, but Striker Root guys jumps in, that's 8 more damage. Patrick's already at 3, regardless of whether Huntmaster's there or not. It's pretty much too much for him to deal with. Patrick makes a habit of playing removal on the mana accelerators. And what do you feel about those type of plays? The Incinerate or the Tragic Slip?
So he's got Tragic Slip there. So I'm wondering if because he's so low, before he Tragic Slipped the Elf, he was at 11. Instead of attacking with the Messenger, he could have left the Messenger back, blocked one of the Avengers, the Messenger will die, and then Tragic Slip one of the Avengers. Even if Aaron regenerates it, it prevents him from being able to play the Strangleroot guys there, so it does soak up a little bit of tempo at least, buying him a little bit of time maybe for his more, hopefully maybe some of his more powerful cards to get online. I believe Patrick's playing Grave Titan.
Yep.
But unfortunately, he put himself in a position where he's at 3 life. Now his guys have to block, and Aaron just finishes it off with the Hellrider.
So one thing he could have done is he played that Incinerate on 2 versus the birds. He attacked, aggressively attacked those mana accelerators. But that Incinerate would have drastically changed the tempo of the game if he had it for the Avenger. Regenerate.
I'm not sure. I think there's kind of 2 different schools of philosophy or 2 different schools of thought on killing mana accelerators. When I'm playing Delver, I'll definitely do it with Gut Shots because it's 0 mana effectively. So I get to use all my other spells, and Gut Shot's obviously not going to kill things like a Wolfie or Avenger, and it's not very good versus the Strangleroot guys. But when you're using cards like Incinerate or even Tragic Slip to kill their mana accelerators, you're making a trade-off of am I denying them acceleration and a little bit of tempo in exchange for the quality of these cards of being able to kill off their better creatures later? And in this
Sure.
case, he didn't have the incinerate for an Avenger.
And the other problem there is that he went to kill the birds, and the birds was already active to be able to tap for mana.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing that this list that Aaron's sitting there on 3 untapped available mana, and he doesn't play anything on 2, you should expect that type of flash creature with that active birds ready to go. And so he might have lost the bird, but he got use out of it, and he did what he needed to do.
Well, it might be possible that Aaron kept a hand with a couple 4-drops,
Sure.
like a Huntmaster or something like that. But yeah, I mean, you figure if Aaron kept his hand and he didn't play anything on turn 3, so this means he probably doesn't have a Zenith because he's didn't Zenith for a Geist. He definitely doesn't have a Strangle-Root Geist.
Or would hit the board.
Yeah, or he would have played it. And he doesn't have like a sword because he
Yep.
probably would have played a sword too. Then what you figure is that odds are he has an Avenger. Either that or he kept a slow hand. If he kept a slow hand, then killing the birds is decent.
Sure.
But
you have to assume that if you're coming across a decent player playing this type of list, like we talked before in another video about taking mulligans, when your deck is an aggressive deck, you don't want to play this slower game, and you need to be looking for an aggressive hand. And he figures at turn 1, birds going into a turn 2 3-drop is aggressive enough, and in this case it was.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Being able to play an Avenger on turn 2 is an awesome start for this deck. And he was able to follow it up with the second Avenger, and then just finish it off with a Hellrider, which is exactly how the deck wants to play out. So yeah, overall, that's pretty much how the deck functions.
Almost a textbook version of look at me play my guys, I'm turning them sideways, and I'm racing you to that finish line, and it did what it needed to do, even without like a Huntmaster.
Yep, pretty straightforward. So that's kind of how the deck operates.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. In their next video, we're going to be covering the blue-white control deck that versus Delver, and that's a little bit longer of a game, a little more intricate. So we hope you'll watch that. And thanks for watching this video.